Hey guys, welcome back. This is now the third video or third project we'll be doing for the Tuesday and Thursday night ceramics class. Today we're going to start making batter bowls. So to get started, you're going to need about 3.5 to 4 pounds of clay, and we're going to center this clay using in 3 separate parts. So you'll see how I do that. I'm going to start by taking the top third of clay, and I'm just going to start centering that. I'm going to pull it up and pull it down, and then once I've got that pretty centered, I'm going to go on to the second part. Now you can see here I'm kind of struggling with the clay because I really wasn't thinking when I was making this video of patting the clay down into a cone shape just to help make it easier to center. But if you see you lock your arms into place, you can hold on to the clay pretty good and center it that way. So I'm going to now push it back down, and then I'm going to take that bottom third. So it's top third, middle third, and then bottom third. And I'm going to cone up and cone down until it's centered. So it may look like I've got my clay kind of centered, but I don't. So I'm trying to get that bottom part centered. So I'm actually going to kind of push in and down, removing this skirt to kind of clean it up, make it easier to see what is not centered. And I'm going to just pretty much use my strength to kind of squeeze in, keeping my arms tucked into my legs, and I'm just going to use equal pressure with pushing down with my dominant hand and in with my passive hand, and this should get my clay centered. So it just takes some time. It's a lot of clay. You'll start with 4 pounds and end up with 3 pounds if you haven't done this before. So just bear with it and keep holding on and adding pressure. Once you've got it centered, now we're going to kind of push it into that tuna can shape. This will help when you are opening and pulling up your walls to make sure your rim stays at the same thickness as the rest of your pool. So it really does help and keep things kind of in line. All right, now we're ready to open. So just like the smaller bowls we did earlier, I'm going to open using my pointer finger at an angle. I'm going to find the center by resting my finger until it doesn't move, and then I'm going to go in and kind of press at an angle. Now it's pretty deep, so I'm kind of going straight in, but I am going to push at an angle. And then I'm going to drag my finger under and do my my pinch to pull up my wall. Also, I'm not going as far into the bat as I normally would. I'm going to leave almost a 1/2 inch foot for trimming because I want my bowl to sit pretty high off of the table since it's a batter bowl. I'm opening this up to be about like 4-inch diameter. So I'm going back in and kind of opening up a little more. And then I'm compressing that rim down as best I can. When I pulled up when I did my pinch, I pulled more of the inside than the outside, so you can see my rim is not level with the wall from the outside. So I'm going to compress, and then when I pull up on the outside, I'm going to release that pressure near the top to kind of even it out. So I've removed this little bottom layer of clay using my finger, and I'm going to use that as like a little ledge to help me pull up the walls. And I'm going to add a little water. If you find that you're pulling and your piece seems to automatically pull off center and your hands are feeling sticky, it's because you don't have enough water on the wall and the clay is just kind of sticking to your hand. You're not going to be able to get a successful pull. So make sure you have enough water, and it's okay to add water between each pull. You just need to remember to remove that water from the inside every time you pull. Continue to pull up your wall, releasing pressure as you get to the top and compress that rim down. And then also compress the inside and remove the water from the inside of the bowl. And we're going to kind of keep pulling up like a cylinder, and we'll bowl out a little bit later. So continue to pull up your walls. If you're in the middle of a pull, you can stop and then go back to where you left off. You don't have to go back to the bottom, and that's mainly so that you keep your walls the same thickness going all the way through. This is going to be my last pull. I want to keep my walls pretty thick because I'm going to bowl it out. If you made your walls too thin here and then you try to push out the walls to get that bowl shape, your clay is going to tear right off the base. It needs to stay thick. So I'm cleaning up the inside with my sponge. And then I'm going to take my wooden rib, and I'm going to use that to get my initial push out to form that bowl shape. And as I do, it's going to make the bowl wider and shorter. So just note that the size of how high you pull it doesn't necessarily mean how deep your bowl is going to end up. So now I'm taking my yellow rib. It's like a medium. It's not as bendable as a red, but it's more bendable than the blue rib. So I use that to kind of clean up the inside and remove some slip, as well as adding more shape. You can use really any rib, but the harder the rib, the better it is, or and easier it is to bowl out. Also removing the slip from the inside, but to remove the slip from the outside, I'm going to use my soft rib. It's going to be easier. So just like we did with all the other ones, you're going to use the flat side of your rib on the outside and the round side of your rib on the inside. I'm just going to remove that slip. And here you can see my bowl is a little off center, so the rim's not straight. So I'm going to cut it off by using my needle tool. And I'm just going to hold it in place and remove the top off. And then I'll compress that rim down using my sponge in like a hot dog shape, and just hold it gently over the rim to smooth that out. And I'm just going to continue to shape and clean. and then we will have our bowl. Once you're happy with the bowl shape you've created, you can then take your wooden knife tool or your needle tool and add a little undercut to make it easier for you to run your wire cutter under. And you're just going to leave that to dry. You can wrap it up for next week, and we will add the spout and the handle. Thanks for watching. Bye.